So, is there
market
any
happens.
pointers for the audience to identify which cycle they are experiencing right now?
Start learning on what are the do's and don'ts of the industry.
What is the good holding period you will recommend?
So, see, the one of the biggest myth is people used to think that real estate investment is very risky.
What are the different cycles that the real estate market goes through? Hi everyone, welcome to the Cashvisory podcast. I'm Arpita, the co-founder of Cashvisory, and we are on a mission to get every individual to their first investments. Today we have a very special guest with us, Rohit Mehta, who is the director of Svamitva Group. It's a one-of-a-kind wellness lifestyle real estate company with a 200 villa project in Bangalore under its banner. So today we are going to get into the ins and outs of real estate business and the do's and don'ts of real estate investing. If you're looking to build your real estate portfolio, then this is the episode for you, and stay tuned, especially because we are going to have a very interesting giveaway if you can crack the Easter egg we'll have in the midst of the episode. So stay tuned because you can stand chance to win Ask Me Anything AMA with Rohit Mehta himself about anything real estate. Rohit, we are glad to have you on the episode.
Thank you,
Welcome.
Arpita. Thank you, and it's a good platform for me also to be here and give some insights on real estate.
That's amazing. So, first of all, thank you for your time. And the first thing actually I want to get into is what is this wellness lifestyle real estate company? Tell us more about that.
Yeah, so it all started when we were doing this 200 villa project on Kanakpura Road. So the project was a little, at the outskirts of the city limits at that point of time when we were launching it. And we wanted to do something unique so that people can buy and, invest in this project. And when we were doing that, the thought process which came to us was to provide something unique is when the overall thought of getting into providing not only amenities as based on wellness, which is like your spa or your walking track, but then we started thinking that can we do something where you live and you create an home which is like a living being in the overall project. That is when we started working on this thought process of let's not only say wellness amenities, but let's try to create a lifestyle which for an individual, and when he's buying a real estate, he gets that entire lifestyle in his overall day-to-day living. That's why we've concentrated on the mind, body, and soul of an individual to create the product. From then, we've started to evolve all our projects in and around those three concepts of your mind, body, and soul.
Right.
And that's why we call it as a wellness lifestyle real estate company. So
That's
we are
nice.
trying to be and evolve ourselves from a regular real estate company to be a wellness lifestyle real estate company.
That's amazing, and we're looking forward to that project and what
Yes.
and all it has in store for us. So tell us more about your journey. You started as a civil engineer.
Yes.
That's your educational background as well. You started your career there, and now you are spearheading your family business, Swamitva Group.
Correct.
How did that come about, and were you always into this field?
Yeah, so when I was doing my plus one and plus two, so we were already into the business of real estate, and I used to see a lot of exciting things, which designing the product, designing the kind of homes people would like to live in. So that is something which used to happen when my dad used to work. Seeing that, the thought process of me becoming a civil engineer, a graduate into civil engineering, and then so I did my graduation in civil engineering from RV College in Bangalore. Then I went to pursue my master's in construction management. So I wanted to pursue a little technical, something into technical plus something which was onto business development also. So
Right.
that's why I did construction management, where it has part of your subjects are into technical aspects of civil engineering, and part of it is into the overall business management. So I did that, and then started my journey working with a company called Jane Heights in Bangalore in 2014 when I came back from UK. Then worked with Jane Heights for a year. Started after that, I got an opportunity to work with Prestige. So I was working with Prestige on their one of their project on Outer Ring Road, where I joined it as a junior engineer. Worked with Prestige for a year, and that is when I wanted to get on hands experience on site,
Yeah.
which I would have not probably got in if I would have joined my family business, because obviously when you join a family business, you would rather start working on the business side more than
Yeah.
onto the technical side.
Yeah, automatically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's how I started working. I started working with the family business in 2016.
Mm-hmm.
The first thing which I got an opportunity to work was a small plotted development project in Bangalore.
Mm-hmm.
I was given a little free hand to design it and execute it. Started with that, then got the opportunity to start working on the sales and marketing part of the product as well.
Mm-hmm.
At that point of time, my family had just started shifting from Sholapur in Maharashtra to Bangalore.
Right.
Though we had operations happening in Bangalore from quite some time, but the Bangalore used to be our regional office. This was
Mm-hmm.
not our corporate office. But now, in from last 10 years, this has Bangalore has been our corporate office, because the entire system and the entire company operates from here, though having business in different regions of Karnataka and Maharashtra. And after that, the first project which I launched at a larger extent was a 300 apartment project in Electronic City.
Wow.
Post which, then we launched this 200 villa project in 2021 in Kanakpura Road.
Mm-hmm.
And after that, we expanded ourselves to one more city in Karnataka, was Gulbarga.
Mm-hmm.
And the same time, we also got opportunity to start working in real estate in Melbourne, Australia. So
Wow.
we are now doing projects in Melbourne as well. So 2018 to 20, that was the new venture where the company got into new demography. And after that, 2023, we launched our project, which is called Manikchand Swamitva Soul Spring in
Okay.
HSR layout.
Okay.
So from then till now, from starting as a engineer to work on site, to developing a project and designing it, to so now I look after the sales, marketing, CRM, and the finance and audit of the overall group.
Right.
So that's how the entire journey has been till now.
And you initiating projects beyond borders. I think that's quite an incredible
Yeah.
journey. So, yeah, I mean, incredible experience. I think there's a lot to learn from this whole experience that you have, and we'll get into all of those one after the other. So, I wanted to know, like, a lot of times you have seen, and then there's a family business, or like, your parents are in a particular field. You kind of either fall in love with that field, or you like go far, far away from that because
Correct.
you're
That happens.
so that happens. For you, of course, it was the former. You actually developed an interest. Was construction or real estate from a very technical point your first interest, or you were also interested in things like architecture, interiors, and things like that?
So I had a mixed, interest, where I also wanted to get into the actual on-site developing of, how a building has been built,
Mm-hmm.
how walls are made, how a
Wow.
structure is made technically,
Right.
get into the designing of the, structural part of a building. And then slowly my interest started getting into also how a interior of a home has to be,
Okay.
how the the living area has to be developed, how the uh, natural environment that can be created in the house, rather
Mm.
than looking only at four walls, how you can create something which is naturally, you feel like you're living in nature.
Yeah.
So that's how the entire interest developed, and that's how the product of Swamitva Terravana, which is the 200 villa project, also came up.
Right.
Because in that product, what we've also done is we've created walls which are mud plastered. So those
Okay.
are like ancient technologies what our grandfathers and all used
Yeah.
to use.
Yeah.
So we tried to introduce that again, and that is how the interest of not just creating a 4 by 4 wall, but also to look at the visuals of everyday living
Right. Right.
came
Yeah.
into picture.
That's great. And so tell us about, like it's been quite a journey, like we just discussed. Tell us what was the lowest point that you actually experienced in this whole experience, yeah, this whole
Yeah, so
journey.
the lowest point for me in the career was that, when we launched this first project of ours in Bangalore, though the company is 42 years old, so we started real estate in 1980.
Yeah.
But in 2017, we launched our first high-rise residential project in Bangalore.
Mm-hmm.
And we were very new to the market then. We were not very known brand at that point of time. So obviously, when you're into real estate, a first project, people would look at, are you going to be delivering on time?
Yeah.
Are your quality going to be as per the norms?
Yeah.
So we launched the project, and at that point of time, on the day of the launch, we were hardly at the 10% sale of the overall inventory what we had, and that was the lowest point, because that project, when we launched, post which we had a lot of reforms happening in the industry. The demonetization happened immediately when we launched. After that, then the GST reforms changed. After that, we had COVID coming into picture. So in a cycle of 3 years, and with that project, we had a lot of ups and downs.
Yeah.
So, and being the first project of mine, where I was looking after from the designing of the project till the execution, and also at the sales part
Yeah.
of the product.
Yeah.
So, when I knew the entire cycle, where I knew that, okay, what is my cash flow requirement and how I'm going to manage it.
Yeah.
So at the first project itself, since I was having lots of ups and downs, is when, the overall factor of, not able to complete the sales in a specified given time was, which was making us feel that, okay, this is something which we should have
Yeah.
tried to work on.
That must have been super stressful. But glad we all made out of those
Yeah,
really
definitely.
difficult times. So since you were talking about all these things happening in the economy that affect your business, I also wanted to understand for our audience here, if you could elaborate on what are the different cycles that the real estate market goes through, and from the point of view of an investor who is investing in real estate, right? Is it very similar to the economic cycle that we go through, the boom and the recession, or is it different? What is the time?
See, there are totally 4 phases in your real estate cycle. The first being the uh, restructure phase. So the restructure phase is that phase when the overall economy of the country, or the entire world is going through a recession, or we have some downfall in the economy due to being COVID or anything as such. So that phase is when the industry is also trying to cope up with the pricing, start coming up into the picture. People are trying to look at investment to be done or not to be done, because the industry is still at the fertile stage where you don't know if the prices will still fall down or prices will go up. So that is the first phase of the industry. The second phase is the expansion phase. So this phase is where you have the property is starting to get into launch. There are a lot of under construction projects coming into launch, and a lot of new inventory coming in. Prices are getting stable at that point of time. People are investing. Commercial properties are giving you good returns. There are launches happening and inventories coming in, and you get early investment opportunity. And you know that the market is stable, so you have a lot of buyers coming into the market. Then you have the growth stage. The growth stage is the stage where you have, it's a completely hyped market. Market is completely booming. There are a lot of prices have increased tremendously. People are buying left, right, center. People are trying to invest more. Your commercial properties are giving you better returns. Residential rents have increased. So people are looking at either investing in residential properties or in commercial properties because your rentals have increased.
Yeah.
And then comes the recession stage again,
Yeah.
where again you'll see that because of some economic downtowns, the entire industry is going into, either prices are slashing down, or people are waiting for the properties to reduce their prices, and then again try to grab that opportunity to invest into real estate and hold on for the next positive cycle to come into.
Right.
So these are the 4 cycles which any every time real estate industry goes through.
Right.
And that is how from 2018 till now the entire cycle has been. So 2018 we had an economy down because of the global recession happening. We had 2020 we had the COVID, and after 2020 COVID, you saw in 2021 there were good launches which were happening in the industry. People started investing in back. 2023 today we are in a market where the market is having good price inflation everywhere. Property prices have gone up. SR value, the guidance values of the properties have gone up. Property taxes have still remained the same, but then people have got opportunities to invest into real estate at this point of time. And they would again look at, holding on and not selling any properties at this point of time, and hold for the next cycle to come, where they will know that okay, the prices again are going to start increasing.
Yeah, yeah, that's interesting. And like roughly how long is the timeline for each cycle in real estate?
So the recession cycle is very small. The timeline for that would be around uh, 12 months to 18 months or a year or two, and then comes the your expansion cycle. The expansion cycle is for good 3 to 4 years.
3 to 4 years. So you have the restructuring, expansion, growth, and recession, and
Yeah.
then whenever the expansion is there, it's like is it the longest
Yeah, expansion
usually
is the longest because you have projects coming in,
coming?
launching, under construction, and the completion of that project is that timeline of the industry. Because most of the projects which come into the market would be in a time frame of 3 to 4 years
Right,
completion.
right.
That is when the expansion
So is there
market
any
happens.
pointers for the audience to identify which cycle they are experiencing right now?
I think people can identify based on the overall economy of the country, how it
Okay.
is going, how the GDP is been, increasing and or developing, and how the real estate industry is contributing to the GDP. So based on that, they will be able to evaluate that okay, are they, if the property prices have, if there are builders who are going and slashing their property prices, that means they are into the recession stage,
Got
because
it.
either the country is going through economic downfall, and that is when they are looking at either maintaining their cash flow and still running and going smooth,
Yeah.
and they will be able to analyze when the industry is in the expansion stage, because a lot of projects are getting launched. That is when the right time for people to start investing and hold on, because real estate is not something where you can have quick money.
Buying and selling like
Buying and
chickens
selling
like
is
that.
not
Yeah.
going to give you good returns. You will
Yeah.
have to hold on for good point of time in real estate, is when you'll be able to get good returns.
What is a good holding period you will recommend to someone?
I would say at least 3 to 5 years.
3 to 5 years. And you should be, what stage of the property development should you buy your?
It would be either at the launch stage. You should always invest in real estate either at the launch stage or at a pre-launch stage, because you will also see a good price increase from your pre-launch to launch.
Yeah.
So either you can either buy it in the pre-launch stage or at the launch stage, because by the end of the cycle of the completion of the project, you would obviously have got good returns, and you can still exit at that point of time.
You can still exit.
Yeah.
That's amazing. So that was super helpful information for our audience, Rohit, on the stage of the property development that people should buy, on the timeline of the different cycles. I want to know what has been the highlight of your real estate career so far.
Yeah, so I mean, my highlight has been very recent. I can say a year ago. So we were at a stage when I just mentioned previously that we when we launched the project, we could, on the day of the launch, we could hardly sell 10% of our inventory. To last year when we launched our project in HSR, we I mean, on the day of the launch, we were at the 80 to 90% sale
Wow.
done.
Congratulations
So
on that.
that
That's
was
amazing.
something which was a very breakthrough for us, because that was something where we got the trust from the buyers, because they saw that the kind of developments which we were going on delivering and launching into the market.
Yeah, yeah. I think good work definitely earns you
Yes.
that trust from your buyers. So, I mean, since we are on the topic of trust, what goes into delivering a project timely? Because for investors like us, if we are looking to buy real estate, that's a huge chunk of our money,
Yes.
right? So, whenever we go put our money into something so big, obviously the biggest concern is that how long will this money remain invested? When will I start to even get that opportunity to take an exit? So timely delivery of the project is an extremely important factor of making a decision for a buyer.
Yes.
So tell us more about that. What are the different challenges? How do you ensure timely delivery, and how do you set investor expectations also?
So what happens is when the entire project has been designed, so decides the actual timeline of the overall project, and if you have a right product with the right, one is the design, because if you're not able to fulfill the expectation of the customer, you won't be able to sell on time, and if you're not
Yeah.
able to sell on time, definitely is going to help, I mean, affect on your cash flows. It is going to affect on your overall project planning,
Right.
and you won't be able to deliver on time.
Right.
So designing the product which is requirement of the market is very important. So a very classic example I would say is we when we were launching the HSR project. So we were the project started in the design stage pre-COVID, where we had designed all apartments considering the requirement of the apartment at that point of time for an individual was smaller apartments. Post COVID, the requirement changed. People were looking at larger spaces
Yeah.
because of COVID.
Work from home has
Work from
happened.
home had happened. People were looking at working space inside the apartment, in
Yeah.
their own apartment, or they wanted amenities which could provide them the opportunity to work from home but still have some quiet space to work from.
Yeah.
So what happened was post COVID, when we were just going to go ahead and launch, we had some time frame for us to rechange the design. That is when we changed our designs from 2 bedroom to 4 bedroom,
Wow.
or create 3 bedroom as well as a part of it.
Right.
So that helped us to when we launched, we were able to do 80 to 90% of the sale. So a right product, and we were also able to launch it at a very right pricing. With both of this, it was something where we were able to get that required sale, and through that you are able to have a good timeline in terms of your execution. Your execution is on time. You are able to one provide a quality product, second on time.
Yeah.
So these two factors makes very important for people to understand that okay, are they actually going to deliver on time? Because if now in market you can easily figure out if the product is being launched and has it got good sales or not. You know that is very easily available now
Data.
due to the data available in the market. So with that, people can actually analyze, okay, is this product going to be delivered on time? Is this project doing good?
That's a very good
So
point.
those important factors creates a clear visibility for the investors that okay, am I investing in a right product,
Yeah.
or has the builder got that credibility of delivering and executing on time? Do they have the pedigree of providing a good product? Or else what happens a lot of times is you are creating product but it is just a apartment or a villa which has not much infrastructure for them to it's not only with them as an individual but also for the family.
Yeah.
It can be either for their kids or for their parents. So if there are infrastructure which has been created, like amenities which has been created, considering everyone into mind of creating of all of this, then definitely you also know that okay, not that only the product is great, but also the elements considered are also taken into factor.
Yeah. No, that makes complete sense. Here is your Easter egg.
So anyone who would like to have more insights on the real estate, please put your questions in the comments below and we would host your AMA.
And since we spoke about the sales at the point of launch, how well the sales have done, what percentage of units have been sold, that also determines overall timeline of execution.
Yes.
Because that's where the money is
Money
coming
is
in for
coming
the
in,
next
yes,
phase.
100%.
So that was going to be my next question on. Please decode for our audience here how this whole financing thing works for such large scale projects, and especially with the 200 villa project you're doing. You would have your own financiers to get started, and then you also have the buyers financing. So how does this all come into
Yeah,
play?
so what happens is, especially in a villa project, it's a very lucrative type of a product which helps you in financing and creating a good cash flow for your project. Because in versus an apartment, because in apartments you have to keep building it, irrespective of if you've sold an apartment in one particular floor or if you've sold all the apartments in that particular floor. But in a villa, you have that option of creating step by step construction, because you start constructing only when you've sold it.
Right.
So you have that opportunity to that, okay, if I've sold this particular villa, though you have that fixed time frame in which you have to complete the entire project. So one is that, because you have those different stages at which you can start the construction. And rather than that, in the apartment, you have to keep building it irrespective of what you've sold.
Right.
And apart from that, what also happens is now that you have so many financing options from all the banks. So the least requirement from an individual customer
Hmm.
is starting from 5%, goes up to a max is of around 20%, depending on what is the kind of CIBIL score that they carry.
Right.
So so if you have good CIBIL score, you have good relationship with your banker, you can also just invest 5% from your down payment, and 95% you can just get financed from your banks.
Right.
So you all the banks from SBI, HDFC, and everyone in the country are now looking at financing and giving up to 95% loan.
That's amazing. I think one thing for our audience here, build a good CIBIL score
Yeah.
and get your property, get your real estate portfolio started with just 5% down payment, guys, and have the bankers finance the 95%.
Yes,
So
definitely.
yeah, that's very useful information. Um, so just want to get back a little bit into real estate industry itself. If someone is looking to build their career in real estate, what advice would you give them? Like, how is the outlook like as a career option?
So, things have changed. Before the requirement, like I've become a civil engineer to have a career in real estate,
Yeah.
but those are not the things anymore.
Yeah.
You don't have to be a civil engineer, or you don't have to, have some knowledge into accounts only, because real estate has itself diversified into so many different sectors, from hospitality to co-living. uh,
Yeah.
so you don't even have to look at that I should know either civil engineering to get into real estate. There are options where you can just get into the branding and marketing part of it, or you can just get
Yeah.
into sales. And now sales has also been diversified, that you can start selling from 1 square feet, which is your fractional investment, which has also started in real estate,
Yeah.
to you can sell properties worth 10 cr or more, or anything. There's no end to it.
Yeah.
So you don't have to really have a civil engineering background. If you have that common sense of selling,
Yeah. You can build, at
you
least
can
for
build a
business
good
development
career.
side.
And it's more about connecting with people, because when you're selling real estate, you're selling something which he is going to buy. It can be his first and a lifetime
Yeah. Yeah. You're
investment.
selling dreams
So
essentially.
you need to know how to connect with people,
Yeah.
and meet and try to meet the requirement of the individual, rather than just selling him a product. So with if you are having those basic information of what a real estate is, how things work in real estate, or if you just have a general a BBA or an MBA degree also, you can still jump into real estate
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
start selling also.
So, I mean, from what I understand, technical knowledge does not play that big a part in the business side of things.
Yes.
So, like, if you had to hire someone for yourself, what is the one skill you would look out for in that person?
So, I mean, if I'm looking for sales, I would definitely look at someone who can connect with people very easily. Because if you are not able to connect with people, and if you're and you have to be a listener,
Yeah.
because if you are not able to understand his requirement, you won't be able to sell him.
Yeah. I think
Even if
that,
he's liking the product, he won't be convinced with you explaining him.
yeah, yeah,
So
definitely.
he won't go ahead with you.
I think that goes for sales across the board.
Yeah.
I mean, whether it's financial products, whether it's, I think, shampoo or like
Anything,
FMCG,
FMCGs
right?
as well. Yes.
I think when you're selling, you are basically, and selling is not just for money. You also sell all the time. Just like, if you attend an interview, you sell yourself there,
Yes.
right? So for selling, you have to understand that the other person have to part with their resources
Resource. Yes.
to get the solution that you're providing them.
Correct.
So they need to, like, you need to form that connection that they are willing to part with their resources. Either
Yes.
it's their time, or it's their money, whatever skill set they want to provide you if you're selling on
And
that.
more important happens is then in I mean, real estate as such has become that everyone would like to invest for the first time.
Yeah.
And a lot of first time investors are very keen on each and everything that is being put up.
Yeah.
If you are committing something, that has to be very clear what you're committing.
Yeah,
So
definitely. I think
that's
first time
how
buyers,
buyers are very keen.
yeah.
So
Yeah, they are particular about a lot of specifics. So we discussed the different cycles in real estate. What would you comment on the current real estate climate in India?
So currently, the overall industry has, one is that there's a very big shift from, uh, smaller living houses to larger living spaces. So people, and the shift has also helped in changing the trend of the overall pricing of the property. So luxury properties have come into picture. A lot of luxury properties are getting good attraction from the buyers in the market. Investors are looking at buying good properties, and overall the market has now seen a good change. People are launching projects, and I think everyone has an appetite to either buy a small property to a larger property. Lot of and that has come into picture because there have been so many different investment options apart from real estate where people are able to get good returns. And those returns, either it can be through your ESOPs or it can be through your stocks, mutual funds. And those investments have helped people to get out of your only these mediums and start investing into real estate if they are
Yeah.
looking at buying their first house.
Yeah.
So people have that investment appetite now, that okay, they can buy anything starting from 50 lakh to 70 lakh, or go up to sky's the limit. I mean, we've seen a change that there were a lot of properties before which were only under 1 CR, but now you see that there is very huge demand of properties which are all above 1 CR and above.
Multi-crore properties
Yeah,
are
multi-crore
become
properties
very
are
very
very
popular.
popular.
So you would say that real estate climate in India is good, doing
Good as
better.
yes.
Um, what is your investment philosophy?
Uh, See, we are one of the asset class that we are working in. So I come from a family, traditional family business, where for us our only investment used to be real estate. Uh, my uncle, my father, and everyone would say that if you want to invest, why do you want to invest in anything else, but rather invest in property because the returns.
You are an expert in that.
Yeah. But I think slowly down the line, when the new generation which has started coming in, including me, we've started working on things where okay, we feel that okay, we should also have a diverse portfolio than only investing into real estate. Though I come from the industry, I would not say that okay, you should only invest into real estate,
Yeah, makes
but you
sense.
should have a diversified portfolio. So we started investing into stocks. We started investing into startups, which could give us some
Wow.
returns. We started also investing into other regions of real estate where we are not working as a. We are not investing into those properties to develop something out of it, but we are only investing to get some returns.
Returns.
Just buy and
Yeah,
sell a
as an
property
investor,
at
yeah.
buy and sell a property at a later point of time.
Got it.
So
Got it.
that's how it has been till now.
Yeah. There's a lot of learning that goes right, like for every asset class you enter.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. Another thing that I wanted to ask you for very long, since the beginning of the conversation, is that real estate investment, right? It becomes very tricky when it comes to such a large geography like India.
Yeah.
Right? It's there's no limit to the streams that the different projects can go through, or
Yes.
different parts of the country, right? You have like all the way from rural, agricultural land, then you have your commercial properties. Residential is like all different kinds as well. And every time you would speak to a broker, they would be like location, location, location. Yeah, we get it, right? If only it was that simple, everyone would be making money on real estate
Yes.
investment. So what are the factors? First of all, just spill the tea on this.
Location definitely plays an important role, but it also depends on what is the infrastructure which is around that location. If the infrastructure is not that great, that location won't help you.
Yeah.
Even if now people say that North Bangalore or South Bangalore is the best investment region for investment in real estate, but in North Bangalore there are different key factors which you have to take into consideration. What is the infra in and around?
Right.
Is that infra going to be developed coming soon, or it's proposed but never developed? Apart from that, what also helps, you should also look at is what is the kind of product that you're investing, depending on your requirement. If you are looking at investing into if you're looking at a purely investment, then you should definitely invest into plots or properties.
Okay.
If you're looking at rental yields, you should look at investing into commercial properties. If you're looking at investing into a property where you have minimal increment every year into the property pricing, plus also have some rental income, definitely you should invest into residential properties
Okay.
like apartments or villas.
Apartments and villas.
So, apart from location, the kind of product that you're investing also takes a very important role, because now things have changed. People don't look at investing into a project where you do not have good infrastructure around, or you don't have amenities inside the project, because now everyone wants a good lifestyle.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if you want a
Lifestyle
good
is
lifestyle,
great.
you need to have good amenities. You need to have a better quality construction, better methods of construction which has been used,
Yeah.
because these things play very important for you to decide where you should be investing.
Yeah. No, a very important thing you pointed out was, things have changed, because I wanted to know, real estate used to be a big thing for the earlier generation, right? The major investment opportunities they had was real estate, and then they would also have a lot of gold,
Gold, yeah.
right? So these were the two major investments that they would do. Today's youth, again, we will get into the youth buying and renting debate as well.
Yes.
But today's youth, they are still investing and they are still interested in real estate. But how has the buying habit changed from the previous generation to this? Have you witnessed any kind of transition yet in terms of the kind of property, the sizes of property, things like that?
Yeah, so see, before, I think our fathers used to, if I would have been not from a real estate background, I think they would invest into buying a real estate property. They would not care about what are the rentals that they are getting, because they would not look at having some rental income, or
Okay.
create an asset which can give them definite income every month.
So passive income was not their concern. They're
Not
looking
an
at
income,
appreciation.
yeah. So they were looking at, okay, if I'm buying a property, it has to be in a good location where tomorrow the infra is developing in and around, and I would be able to have good appreciation down the line.
Yeah.
And the time frame of investment also used to be, at that point of time would not be less than 10 years, because people used to buy a property, forget about it, and
yeah.
then they know when the market is very good, try to get something out of it. But things have changed. People now look at, okay, if I'm investing, I would rather invest in a property where I can get some definite passive income every month, or I can create. In real estate also, people would like to make a different kind of portfolio.
Yeah.
It can be apartments, it can be plots. Sometimes people look at having a leased out property, and invest into it.
Right.
Because in commercial properties, if it is leased, you keep having better returns every year. You have an
Right.
increment of rents every year. You get good returns going on from there. So from buying only properties to having a mixed portfolio of properties is the kind of change in the investments what people are having.
Yeah, that's a very interesting insight, because definitely I think diversification is not just for, I think, assets,
Assets.
but within an asset class
Yes.
also now we want to like dabble
Have
into different
different
kinds of.
assets.
Yeah. So, what advice would you give to young investors today to get into the real estate market? Someone who's looking to just start building out their real estate portfolio.
I think it is the best time, because the market industry as such has come out with fractional investment option where you can invest, you know, at 1 square feet as well. Before, if you had to invest into real estate, people used to see that you have to have a good chunk of money to invest.
Yeah.
But now that's not the thing. You can invest from just 1 square feet. So I would say that people can start exploring at these kind of options where they are looking at buying a minimum of 5 lakh to 10 lakh square feet, 10 lakh rupees investment, and get into real estate, buy some fractional investment, invest into commercial assets on fractional investment, try out how things are, learn how real estate investment happens, start learning on what all are the do's and don'ts of the industry,
Yeah.
what you should be checking when you're investing,
Yeah.
and start building your portfolio from 1 square feet to you
So,
have your limit
sky's
to
the limit. Yeah.
yes.
So we're going to do a cheat sheet, and we're going to ask you the do's and don'ts of the industry.
So do's would be, I would say that, you should always check at what is the first thing you should look at is what is your requirement, and then try to work around it, work on your budgets.
Yeah.
Second would be to look at what is the region that you would like to invest in. If it is going to be in Bangalore, you will have to look at, in and around the tech region.
Yeah.
It can be either Whitefield, or it can be on the electronic city front, or start looking at regions where there is going to be some development which is going to happen very near future.
Right.
Don't have don't look at regions where okay, that development is going to come, but you never know when.
You never know when.
So investing in those kind of regions, you would not be able to get those kind of returns.
Yeah.
So never invest saying okay, down the line it will help you getting some good returns after 10 years. Definitely in real estate, never look for a quick in. And easily you won't be able to make quick money here, because real estate is a minimum 3 to 5 year game. You should be there for a long term.
Yeah.
Only a long term investment you will be able to get some good returns. Apart from that, look at the pedigree of the builder. If you are looking into if you are looking at investment into some property, look at what has been the history of the builder. What have they delivered till now? What are the kind of products that they've delivered? So that is also very important nowadays.
Right.
And you should look at, are you investing at the early stage, or are you investing at the saturated life cycle of the product?
Right.
If you are going to invest at the saturated life cycle, your returns will take much time than what you would get if you are investing at the early stage of the product.
Okay.
So that's also very important. If you're investing at the pre-launch or the launch of a project, you would be able to get good returns in the finishing stage of the project.
Yeah. Otherwise, you have to stay longer.
Stay longer.
That's great. Very useful advice. I'm sure the audience is appreciating all of that. And now we'll get into the most debated topic by the youth today, which is buying versus renting. So just want to know your input on that.
See, I mean, post COVID, the cycle was that people were leaving cities and they were going back to their hometowns, and renting was very easy because the rentals were very lesser than your EMIs. But again, the cycle has come where your rents are as equal to your EMI, because real estate in the financing had gone to the lowest in India, which was 6%, 6.5%, which has come back to 8.5.
Right.
So that point of time renting was easy, but now if you are renting and if your EMIs are as equal, and if you are able to afford to make some down payment, then I would say make that down payment, move into a ready to move in property, and buy a property rather than renting, because you would be ending up paying the same EMI than
Right.
your rentals.
So, if it's someone who is very young, let's say, right, just started off their career, for them, will real estate be the right kind of investment product as their first few investments? Because it's definitely a big chunk of money, and I'm not talking about the fractional investment point of view right
Okay,
now.
yeah.
I'm just talking about just buying versus renting. So that's another thing, because also, like, we have spoken to a lot of Gen Zs, and they also can't find where they want to be rooted, right? They are still exploring. They have not even started investing in, like, mutual funds or stocks. So for them, for us, we generally advise that's not the first thing that you should look out for, because it's a big commitment.
Yes.
Right? You have to slowly get into
Get
that.
into it, yeah.
So what do you
I
have to
think
say
at
about
that, I mean, for the investors at that stage who are just just started their career, I would say, or maybe a year into the their life cycle of the career, I think investment into real estate would not be the real suitable, because anything you look at buying, if you're looking at investing on your own money, you won't be able to buy anything
Yeah.
as a property as such.
Anything decent,
You would
yeah.
definitely need some help, be it from your family or
Yeah.
something like that. But if you're looking at buying at an age where you're able to pay EMIs which are as equal to your rents,
Yeah, that's probably
then that's probably the
considered.
time where you should actually invest and get into a ready to move in property. So that's something
So that
which
then you save on the rent.
you save on the rent.
Makes sense. So one last question before we get into this very interesting segment of rapid fire. What is one myth about real estate that you would like to bust?
So see, the one of the biggest myth is people used to think that real estate investment is very risky, because they used to think that you never know when either the property would have some legal issues, or
Right.
you would have someone uh, uh, government change, and they decide to not have the infra which was committed to develop in that area, and they change to not have that.
Yeah.
So those things have not I mean, those things are not there anymore. One is on the legal aspect, things have changed a lot. The industry as such is getting into a much organized industry than how it was before.
Right.
It used to be very unorganized sector. It has completely changed. Everyone has started getting into those process and systems of getting the property legally checked, getting it verified by the banker. Even bankers get it verified, and they
Before
label it.
financing, yeah.
Yeah, before financing it, they label it that yes, is this property good to go.
Yeah.
So that myth has been gone, that real estate is a risky
From that point of
asset.
view, yeah.
Because I mean, I've heard people saying that even if I've got a property as a gift from my ancestors, I'm not happy with it because there are so many issues I have to deal with it.
Yeah.
But that has also gone, because you have so many other services, service industry which has come into real estate, which help you and provide you all the facilities, to right from screening your property, to protect your property, to help you sell those properties back,
Manage the property.
manages the properties.
Yeah.
So real estate is not one is not risky, and it is easy to manage now.
Easy to manage.
Easy
now.
to manage.
That's great. That's great. Super insightful. Now we have come to the last segment of our podcast, which is rapid fire. So I'm going to go through the questions and we will have very rapid answers from you. So I hope you're ready.
Yes.
Let's start. Favorite city for real estate investments?
Definitely Bangalore. And then I think I could say Pune.
Okay. A lot of brownie points from your buyers right now. A construction project you admire?
So I admire this company called Isprava. They make very unique villas. In those are all holiday villas, but
Okay.
they design it very unique for I mean, being as a lifestyle product for your holiday. They are doing it in Goa,
Nice.
Kurg, Kunnur.
Okay.
So I really admire, because the design is very unique and very good.
Good. I'm going to Google that right after. Jack of all trades or master of one?
Master of one.
Last book you read?
I read this book called The 5 a.m. Club from Robin
Right.
Sharma.
Yeah. Your mantra for success in your business?
You have to be clear in your commitments and keep working towards it.
Right. Meetings or emails? More efficient way to get work done?
Meetings.
Okay. One skill you wish you had?
I would like to play guitar.
I'm sure you'll get some time someday. REITs or gold?
I would say REITs.
Better part of the weekend, Friday evening or Sunday morning?
Sunday morning.
If you had to change your career for a day, what would it be?
I think I would like to get into the fintech industry, because I mean I'm from a non-finance background, but I
Yeah.
would like to work more on the financing part and get into the
Great, great. I'm
fintech.
super flattered. Okay, we welcome you with open arms. So thank you, Rohit. It was an amazing conversation, and I think time was less. I would have so many more questions, but yeah, great having you here. Thank you, audience, for staying with us, and please do like, subscribe, and share it with your friends. And if you'd like to speak to me or my co-founder Utkarsh, you can book a call with us, and the link is in the description. Thank you.